41 years is a long time to do anything, but when you love it, the time sure flies. Former NDSU track coach Don Larson recently retired after the 2020 season and was inducted into the NDSU Hall of Fame just last weekend. The NDSU track legend is here with us today. Welcome.
Good morning.
Morning. So first of all, congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
It was fun to celebrate too,
Yep.
I'm sure, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Whole family was home.
Yep.
I love
NDSU's
it.
been my home for a long time.
A long time. And
Yep.
you know what? Honestly, I tried to do some research to find out other coaches that have lasted that long in one location.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's ever been done.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's a few out there.
Maybe there is somewhere. But anyway,
Yep.
so, and also congratulations on your retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've got fun things ahead. You've got grandbabies to go chase after for a while too, so that's cool. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
grandkids, they're the best. They were all
Yes.
here this weekend.
That's-
and we had a blast.
That's awesome. Okay, so one thing I've got to kind of ask you where this all started. I mean, and how does somebody last 41 years doing something like this?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't supposed to be a collegiate track coach. I was supposed to be an elementary teacher and student taught under an NDSU grad in Brookings, of all places.
Okay.
And he was going to move up to the high school and become the principal. Hiring freeze, and one thing led to another. And my college coach was a good buddy of the coach at Concordia Moorhead, and so I went to Concordia. Ed Langsdorff had gone on sabbatical and went there for 1 year and stayed for 3. And my mentor at Concordia was the legendary Sonny Galsvig, and he was
yes.
cornered by the AD at NDSU, and he asked him, and Sonny basically told him, hire a guy and get him out of my house. And since I was living with Sonny and Marcella, that opened the door for Aide Sponberg, and then so hired me, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
So you started out, and honestly, you were probably not much older than some of your athletes, right?
Well, actually, when I was at Concordia, I had athletes that were the same age and things. But we, you know, at Concordia and at NDSU, there were a number of upperclassmen that came in, particularly at NDSU with, you know, like Kevin Donnelly and Shane Hoddenfield, who ended up on the football staff. And those guys did a great job of making the transition.
Okay.
And in those early years, yeah, there were ups and downs, and there were things like, I wish I'd have done that a little different and stuff, but there's no looking back. And
Right,
yep.
right. So overall, you really developed a championship tradition at NDSU. I mean, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be there that long, you have come across so many athletes that are, national champions, Olympic athletes, all of that. So how did you develop this mentality with, obviously you had to have it. You were a track athlete yourself back in the day, right?
Yeah, in the day.
In the
Long
day.
time ago.
So,
Well,
but how did it, how did that start for you? And
well, realistically, when my collegiate coach, I think, really instilled, if you're going to do this, do it the right way. And so it's about trying to recruit the right people, people that not only have athletic ability, but love to compete. And there's a difference.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the number of athletes that have competition anxiety, that's why being a person in sports psychology is such a big deal, because there's a lot of students that they're probably pretty good athletes, but when they get into competition, that they become too nervous. Competition anxiety, and helping kids and athletes get through that type of thing, and then recruiting the right kids and having like I said, the key to success at this level is hire great assistants and stay out of their way.
Right.
But meaning that, when you have a throws coach, when you have a distance coach and a sprint coach, let them coach their athletes. And, and I've been very fortunate to have had some assistants, and I know Stevie Keller was one of our former athletes, became the head women's coach, eventually the head coach. The guy can just plain flat out coach.
Right,
and that's,
right.
And there's a big difference between the recruiting and the coaching. That's
Yeah.
the key to success.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. So obviously lots of accolades over the 41 years. Like I said, lots of different athletes. You can talk to them, about them, of course, but championships with you, for you, Coach of the Year. 17 times, was that a Summit League Coach of the Year? And then, numerous others. We could go on and on. I mean, seriously. So, which is fantastic. And I'm sure you're kind of like, I don't want to talk about myself that way. But what are some of the, if you could give me 3 of your favorite moments over the last years? I know that's going to be hard to do, but 3 brief ones. What would you say?
You know, obviously, when you look back, it's when I came to NDSU and with the success level that NDSU was starting to have, and certainly like in football, and it carried over in wrestling, and it's going to that first championship meet, and you know how the meet ended, because basically it was a draw going into the last event, and we had a Bemidji kid by the name of Tommy Scar, who ended up becoming a graduate assistant later on, and things, and he got in the decathlon. He ended up getting stuck anchoring the 4x4 against Northern Colorado, probably the best athlete Northern Colorado's ever had, and we win by probably 4 inches and win the meet. And
cool.
So, and that just was kind of like a brush fire after that, well, we can do this.
Yeah.
And you know, the in it to win it mentality. I mean, if you're going to do it, let's train and compete the right way. And unfortunately, we were able to continue to recruit the right athletes that thrived on competition. Kids that just generally love to compete.
Yeah. And when they have that kind of a mentality too, it makes it a lot, makes your job easier and a lot more fun for you all, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, we are out of time, unfortunately. Okay. I know how this goes, so it's short and sweet. So anyway, but I wanted to congratulate you again. I know this community will miss you. I'm sure you're not going to stay far from that track.
Oh, no. A lot of projects in the mill.
Awesome. Yep. I know, new track coming. So thank you so much, Don, and best of luck to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You bet. Coming up on today's show, Comfort Keepers is hiring caregivers. We'll see who they're looking for and if you could be the perfect fit.